Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to AddisDialogue. The Productive Safety Net program has been instrumental in helping a huge number of families in different parts of the country with the sole objective of creating resilience against poverty. In this regard, how successful has it been so far? And what are some of the challenges that are still persistent? And what is the way forward? In search of answers to this, I'm joined by Birhanu Woldemichael. He's the Senior Advisor to Food Security Coordination Office Head. I'm your host, Shifara Olaka. Do stay with us. All right. Many thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
So to kickstart our discussion, how does the Productive Safety Net program specifically target the rural areas with this objective of reaching the marginalized community in different parts of the country?
Thank you for the questions. The Productive Safety Net program uses the geographic targeting and community targeting approach to reach to the extreme poor and vulnerable households in the rural areas. For that purpose, the program put in place a system to reach to the targeting exercise. When we are saying about geographic targeting, we are trying to identify drought-prone areas in the regions, and once we are identified the drought-prone areas, in that area we are trying to target the extreme poor and vulnerable households. We are not trying to address the whole entire population of on that area. There are a better of households, but from those there are the poorest of poor. So for that purpose we are using of community targeting to identify those households who are the poor of poor in that communities, and to ensure the targeting has been implemented as per the design. We have already developed a guideline for targeting of the poorest of the poor in the program area, and we do a familiarization workshop to familiarize the guideline to all stakeholders at regional level, Warada, and even at a community level. By doing this, we are trying to sail in the guideline to be added in implementing or selecting of the beneficiaries. With this, to strengthen that, we have also established the governance structure at all levels, at regional level, Warada level, and community level. At regional level, we do have a regional food security task force, the Warada level, the Warada food security task force, and at the community level, the community food security task force. These task forces are critical structures to identify the needy peoples who will be eligible for the program. And once we have completed the targeting at a community level, a general assembly will be called, and the list of households who have been registered to be eligible to receive the entitlement has been displayed and discussed with the communities, and that will be endorsed by the committee. If there is any complaints, we have also a redress mechanism for complaints. We have a separate technical committee, Qabali Appeal Committee, who will hear the appeal of the complaints, and if the appeal is correct, then instruct the Food Security Task Force to include that person into PSNP. But if the complaint is not visible, he responds to the complaint that the question raised from him is not soundable, and he was not been eligible to be part of the PSNP. With this, we are finalized and implement the program. And every year, we do annual update of the targeting exercise to take a correction on inclusive and exclusive error. And based on that, we are not 100% perfect on targeting of the program class. But to minimize the errors, we do everything annual update to know if somebody is leaving the area due to natural death or getting of marriage and leaving the community. We replace that person by the new one from the waiting list and include it into the program. And every 2 years, we conduct recertification to know the program beneficiary for how long they are staying in the program, what type of support they have been receiving, and what type of livelihood support, including the grant and credit, have been supported for this beneficiary, and how this beneficiary is doing with all this resource in changing of his life. With this, we are trying to identify the better of households due to the intervention of the program to exit from the program. This exercise has been implemented and it is taken as a good practice at the continental level as well as at the global level.
That's impressive. What's the average increase in household income for productive safety net program beneficiaries, and how does this translate to increased investments in children's education?
Yes, through the intervention of the program activities, there is an increase in the income level of the program beneficiaries. But to give concrete information, this should be evidence with studies, and meeting of the program objective is a mandatory one. The program do have its own objectives, and that is conditional to be implemented. The primary objective of the program is, one, to smooth food gap of the targeted beneficiaries. Second is to protect asset depletion of these targeted beneficiaries. And the third objective of the program is creation of community asset at the community level. And the fourth objective is provide tailored livelihood support to the beneficiaries to improve their livelihoods. So when I'm looking at these four main objectives and the achievements we made so far in implementing of the program, through the safety net program, we are making food and cash transfer to food insecure households in the program area, which enables them to smooth their food gap. The second one, smoothing the asset protection. If we are not able to make avail of the food and the cash resource to the beneficiaries on time, it do have an impact on the livelihood of the beneficiary. So for the sake of survival, they will be forced to sell their productive asset to buy food for their consumption. But when we are making avail of the resource, the cash and the food resource on time to the beneficiary, that will protect them from net selling of the productive asset for consumption purpose. So far, based on our data collected, we have met the timeless transfer to reach to the needy peoples. The target set which we are agreeing with our development partners was 65% of the beneficiary should receive their entitlement after 1 month of the period of implementation. But so far, we have above the target set. In Ethiopian fiscal year 2015, we have reached about 70% of beneficiaries have received their entitlement on time, and on AFI 2016, 82% of the beneficiaries have received their entitlement on time. Even for AFI 2017, for the first quarter, starting from July to September, for the permanent direct support plans, we have transferred their entitlement, and the percentage of that transfer shows us 87%. Against the 70% of the target. So we are reaching to these people. The third objective is creation of community asset. As you know, the able-bodied households who do have a labor, they should not receive free out of support. The able-bodied households should participate on public work, and they will be paid for the labor they contribute in doing the public work. The public work activities that's going to be implemented by the safety net client is to address the underlying cause of food insecurity in their vicinity. So this is selected by the community priority and implemented in the watershed areas. Using of the labor of the public work clients, we are implementing various types of biophysical soil and water conservation activities, area closure, small-scale irrigation, pond construction, feeder roads construction, primary school construction, and the like. This all benefited the economy of the rural poor people. So when you are looking into aggregate of all this effort and linking the safety net program with the livelihood intervention and involve them in crop and livestock production of farm activities and also with employment pathway, this will enable them to diversify their income sources and thereby to lift up the level of food security from bottom to up and reach to a good base. With this, we try to document evidence by how far the livelihood of the targeted beneficiaries are improved and how their asset and income is increasing. We conduct studies every 2 years and every 4 years to know from where going to where, from which level we should lift up them to the desired level. And if you are looking the latest public work impact assessment conducted in 2019, it shows us that there is an improvement on biophysical conservation of the degraded areas, and the well-being of the program clients have been improved. And to indicate this with figures, with evidence to document for you, for example, in 2000, the poverty rate in percentage was 55% in this area, but by 2020, that percentage goes down to the level of 25% by reducing by 30%. This shows us that the livelihood of the program clients have improved through all this intervention, and we are measuring of our achievement of the target set for objective in this way, and we are in a better off in making of changing of the life of the peoples.
One of the areas the Productive Safety Net Program prioritizes is obviously education, which you've touched upon. So in this regard, can you provide specific examples? How has this Productive Safety Net Program enabled mothers to practically invest in their children's education for better education, for more accessibility of education in different parts of the country?
And thank you. I think the Productive Safety Net programs enables mothers to invest at the household level, to invest for their children education. But it's not only for the mothers, it's also for the entire households, the program. And culturally, when I'm looking of the rural communities, they use what they earn from doing of different activities, investment at the household level, which this investment will also use to invest on their children to send to the schools. And through the safety net program, we have constructed different type of social infrastructures. One of the social infrastructure constructed is the primary schools. This primary schools is constructed in their vicinity, in the walking distance. Because of that, the school rollout enrollment has increased, and school dropout of children have also reduced. This benefits the mother as well as the households in general.
Also, how does the safety net program work in close collaboration with other NGOs, other entities that are aimed at improving the lives of the people in the country?
Yeah, thank you. With regard to the urban safety net programs, both of them are implementing their programs in different areas. The urban safety net program is implemented in the urban settings, whereas the rural productive safety net program is implemented in the rural areas and different locations. Because of that, we didn't see any integration or complementarity among the two programs. But there are other flagship programs which are implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture, and these programs are complementarity by intervention, the type of intervention, building resilience capacity. They have also doing of the same things as what we are doing. And with regard to the Warda, there are a complementary overlap in the Warda. But the problem is when you are go down to the watershed, there is no complementary at the watershed level. Each of the flagship program implements their program in a silo. For example, CALM, the climate action through landscape management. Even though they are implementing a PCNP Waradas, they do have their own watershed. In that watershed, they didn't allow the PCNP clients to benefit from that program. The same holds true for the other program. So what we are now having a discussion with the flagship program coordinator is to harmonize, to create collaborative and participatory approach to maximize the benefit for these targeted beneficiaries if we are working jointly in a coordinated manner. in a collaborative manner and including of participatory approach, I think we can maximize the benefit for these poor people, and we can lift them from the level of food insecurity to the level of food security.
Obviously, there are some challenges while you are implementing the programs in different parts of the country. So what are some of the major challenges that you've faced so far along your journey of implementing the SafeNet program, and how did you manage to solve them, and what's the way forward in the future?
There are a lot of challenges that the program is facing, but it's very difficult to discuss on all these challenges within this short period of time. But for your information, I want to flag some 4 to 5 major challenges that we are facing and implementing of the program. The first one, when starting the PSNP 5, the COVID was being in the country, and COVID protocol doesn't allow mass gathering of people, and because of that we are not able to do the public work as the plan, and that's the first challenge. And the second challenge that we are facing was drought. The drought frequency has increased, and in most of the countries drought has been reflected, and this is also challenging us. So to address this challenge, we are working with our development partners to scale up the PSNP program to reach both PSNP and non-PSNP by horizontal expansion and vertical expansion by using all the shock responsive safety net. By doing this, we are saving lives and protect the people from the shocks. And because of that, there is no any people who are died because of lack of support and fulfilling of the food. That is the mitigation measures that we are using to protect from the drought. The third challenge is the security problem. This security problem is obvious for everybody. We have faced a security problem in some parts of the country, and because of that, experts are not able to move to the wardas and to the government to provide a technical support, and because of that we have been challenging. But to reach to the needy peoples, we are using e-payment system to make payment to the beneficiaries through their account by opening of bank account, transfer their money, and using that money to for consumption purpose. But doing all the development activities, it was been hindered due to the security problem. The other challenge, the fourth one, is the inflation. I think inflation is not only the problem of this program client, it's the national-wise problems. But it is very serious and very challenging for the PSNP clients. And to address this, what we are doing through the program is every year we adjust the wage rates that we are paying for the program clients based on the consumer price index prepared by the Ethiopian Statistical Service. And based on that, we have adjusted the wage rates of cash to buy the equivalent amount of grains from the local markets. By doing of such kind of adjustments, we are trying to cope up this challenge. The other challenge is the financing gap. When we are starting in implementing of the PSNP program, we are starting with the 10% of financing gap, believing that the development partners and government will contribute this the remaining 10% through implementation. But immediately, if you remember, when we are starting implementation of the program after the COVID, the war in the northern part of the countries, and some of the development partners hold on their resource because of the conflict, and that's political issues. Because of we were facing a financing gap. On top of this, the increase of inflation also aggravates the financing gap, and we are suffering highly with the financing gap of the program. To address this, we are forced to downsize the program based on the available resource, like reducing the number of months of support provided to the program clients on AFI 2016. 2 months of reduction has been done on transfer for public work clients from 6 months to 4 months, and for the permanent direct support clients, we are making of transfer of 12 months, the entire year. But because of the finance gap, we reduce the 2 months, the January and February transfer, to be entitled for them. That is some of the challenge, but now the government has committed to contribute a resource for the program, about 45 billion, which is equivalent to 450 million US dollar. When we are looking into all this commitment, if there is a commitment from the government side in this angle on the future, I hope the future direction should be to have a sustainable development program, and the program should focus on developmental part rather than only focusing on food aid support. To sustain the program, to focus on developmental approach, and also to decentralize the power, and regional government should contribute a matching fund for the program to have ownership for the program. So far what we have learned is all the regions, they do have a block grants allocated by the federal government, but they didn't allocate a single budget for the safety net program. But now on the next phase of the program design, we want to put a condition that the regional government to allocate a matching fund for the program and to bring them ownership and to sustain the program at grassroots level.
Senior Advisor Birhanu Woldemichael, many thanks for your time and for your ideas.
Thank you too.
And with that, we come to the end of today's program. Many thanks to you as well for having been with us so far. And until I see you next time with another program, it's a goodbye from me. Shifa alaikum.